Hello. Hello, my viewers, my patrons, my well wishers, and those who regularly join my live streaming class are being invited to join as early as possible because I am already too late. And today's topic of discussion is Ted Hughes Roosting. It is for fourth semester, class 12 examination, those who are going to sit for the final examination. And I am going to discuss not only the content of the poem, but also the short questions and, if possible, the essay type questions, because many of the students have already requested me to explain the poem Roosting by Ted Hughes. It is a very important poem, and I think that I should not make my introduction lengthy, and I should start. You see that Ted Hughes has already taken the imagery from nature. That is hawk. Hawk is the symbol. And you know that hawk is a preying bird, and it has enough physical strength, and it can prey on any bird or animal because it has an immense physical strength. However, whatever may be the fact, Roosting is written after the First World War. So its background is the First World War, and after the First World War, Ted Hughes saw the warmongers' arrogance and brutality, arrogance and brutality, and that is why he hated the warmongers. He has satirized the warmongers of the First World War in his poem Roosting. So hawk is the symbol of a warmonger. And you know that those who are the owners of the deadly weapons want to dominate the weaker section of people and the weaker countries, etc. Now, I am going to explain Roosting. I sit, actually, the hawk reflects Hughes' view of nature as both beautiful and merciless. Beautiful and merciless when survival depends upon strength and instinct. Your survival, you know that there is a proverb, survival of the fittest. So those who can survive are strong enough. Without strength, without courage, nobody can survive in the lap of nature. Okay? I sit in the top. Oh, you see that Roosting is actually a dramatic monologue. What is monologue? Mono means single or one, and log comes from the word logos. So conversation. So monologue means the speaker speaks, and there is an imaginary audience. Imaginary audience, and the answers are given by those persons. So the poet himself is asking the questions, that means the hawk itself is asking the questions, and it itself is giving answers. That is monologue. Okay? I sit in the top of the wood, my eyes closed, inaction, no falsifying, okay, dream between my hooked head, hooked feet, or in sleep, rehearse perfect kills and eat. The hawk sits on the top of the wood. It actually sits on the top of the wood because from the top of the wood it actually observes. It actually, okay, I am very much pleased to have you in my class, and I am teaching West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Examinations, Hawk Roosting by Ted Hughes, an American poet. And this is for their request. However, his eyes are closed, and from the top of the wood, the hawk observes actually the prey on which it will fall. It will fall. All on a sudden, the hawk will fall upon its prey. In action, no falsifying dream. Actually, it does not indulge. It does not. That is, the hawk does not indulge in self-deception. Or unnecessary thoughts. It is not indulged in unnecessary thoughts. It is actually observing accurately the prey on which it will fall. Okay? Between my hooked head and hooked feet. Actually, hooked means the repetition of word hooked. The repetition of word hooked emphasizes the hawk's physical adaptations of hunting and killing. Hooked head and hooked feet. That means on the branch of the wood, on the branch of the tree, its nails are, its paws are hooked, and his head is also hooked by the prey. So it is not absent-minded. It is going to fall on the prey. Okay? Or in sleep, rehearse perfect kills and eat. Perfect kills and eat. Even in sleep, people may think that the hawk is sleeping, but actually the hawk is not sleeping. Even if it sleeps, the hawk is focused. The hawk is focused on its survival and dominance. survival and dominance. Okay? The convenience of high trees, the air's buoyancy, and the sun's ray are of advantage to me, and the earth's face upward for my inspection. So, what are the advantages of the hawk? The convenience of the high trees. The tree is high. So, from the top of the tree, it can see, the hawk can see its prey. The ear's buoyancy. So, buoyancy means the hawk acknowledges how nature supports its flight. Nature supports its flight. Okay? So, air's buoyancy or favor and the sun's ray are of advantage to me. So, if you are asked question for 2 marks, what helped the hawk to, or what are the advantages of the hawk to prey? Okay, you will have to answer the convenience of high trees, the air's buoyancy, the sun's ray, etc. are of advantage to the hawk. Again, I am repeating, and this question must be set because this question is very, very, very important. What are the advantages? What are the advantages of the hawk to prey? The first of all, the high trees on which it sits, the air's support, and the sun's ray help the hawk to fall on its prey. Okay, these are the advantages. And the earth's face upward for my inspection. Even the earth helps the hawk for its inspection, that is where its prey is sitting. Okay, so this is the first question, and it must be set in the examination, and marks allotted 2 marks. And from the first stanza, you see, I sit in the top of the wood, my eyes closed, in action, no falsifying dream, between my hooked head and hooked feet. Okay. So, question may be set, how does the hawk sit on the top of the wood? How does the hawk sit on the top of the wood? Your answer will be, the hawk sits on the top of the wood with his eyes closed, and seems to be in action and seems to be in dream, but it is not a falsifying dream. Okay, again I am repeating, the hawk sits on the top of the wood with his eyes closed, in action, and seems to be absorbed in dream, which is not falsifying. So these are the 2 questions. Please listen to the video very attentively when you are alone, and I think that all these questions will come to your benefit in the examination hall, I think. Now come to the third stanza. My feet are locked upon the rough bark. It took the whole of creation to produce my foot, my each feather. Now I hold creation in my foot. So, the hawk is too much egoistic. It takes pleasure in its own strength, physical strength. My feet are locked upon the rough bark. The bark of a tree is generally rough. Therefore, the nails of the hawk are locked. There is no fear of falling down. There is no fear of falling down. It took the whole of creation. The hawk claims that the entire universe, worked to create it. As if the whole universe has helped him to be so strong, to be so intelligent, and to be so quick. So the hawk is too much egoistic, and it thinks that the whole universe is in its favor. So what should be the question? Question is that what does the hawk think of himself? What does the hawk think of himself about his strength? About his strength. The answer is that the hawk's feet are locked upon the rough bark, and there is no fear of fall, and it thinks that it has taken the whole of creation. The whole of creation is under its foot. It is under its foot, and its each feather also helps it to fly so rapidly that it can easily catch hold of its prey. And it also thinks that it holds the entire creation under his foot. So what does it mean? What is the significance of this stanza? The significance of the stanza is that the nation which is very much powerful, which is very much strong, which has war weapons, can dominate all other nations. And that nation thinks that the whole of creation is under his foot. So it is the egoistic attitude not only of the hawk but also of the powerful nation. And it was written after the First World War. So I have given you 3 questions. Each carries 2 marks. Now come to the 4th stanza. Or fly up and revolve it all slowly. I kill where I please, because it is all mine. The hawk is so egoistic, so powerful, so brave, so courageous, that he kills everything he likes. He kills everything he likes. Fly up, he flies up, revolves slowly just to fall on its prey. just to fall on his prey. And he kills whatever he likes. And he kills whatever he likes. Because he thinks that all the things in the universe belong to him, are in his possession. There is no sophistry in my body. That means his body is not so beautiful. My manners are tearing off heads. And his attitude to life is that it can tear off heads of its prey, of his prey. You may use it, you may use he. Now come to the fifth stanza. The allotment of death for the one path of my flight is direct. Through the bones of the living, no arguments assert my right. The allotment of death, that is, what is the allotment of death? Actually, the hawk assigns itself, the hawk assigns death to others, reinforcing its godlike control over life and death. Godlike control over life and death. He thinks himself to be God, to be almighty. It can save, it can kill, it can torture, everything. That is why he says, the allotment of death for one path of my flight is direct. Is direct. One path of my, that is unchallenged authority. He has unchallenged authority like God. He can kill whatever he likes. Clear? The sun is behind me. Nothing has changed since I began. Since the birth of the hawk, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed his character. He is as usual. My eye has permitted no change. My eye has permitted no change. That means nothing disrupts its rule. His eye is so keen. His eyes are so keen, so sharp, that nothing can prevent the hawk to fall on the prey. Okay? Because the sun is also helpful to him. I am going to keep things like this. And final declaration of absolute power and control. And absolute power and control over the world. That's the end. So, actually the hawk is the symbol because the hawk is powerful. It can catch hold of the rough bark on the top of the wood. It can fall on the prey. It can kill it. It can save it. And nothing can prevent it from killing the animal he likes. Just like a nation which has deadly weapon can dominate, can do everything he likes, the nation likes. That's the end. And I think that all of you have understood. And if this video goes to your benefit, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanking all of you. Good night.